Hey guys, today we want to talk about trade-offs in the Philippines. The trade-offs that we have between the US and between the Philippines can be pretty great sometimes. A lot of times a lot of guys come over here and you have to look at the good side of the Philippines or you're never going to make it here, because a lot of guys stay so focused on the negative, and those are the ones we see over here that either they stay here and they bitch and moan and cry all the time about everything sucks, everything's this and everything's that, or they move past it and they look at more of the positive stuff. And I'm not perfect on this, okay? But I do try to stay more positive in my life. I try to look at the good side of life over here. And there is a very, very good side of life over here in comparison with the US, as far as the people here, as far as the costs over here and all that. And that's what we're going to dive into today. You know, the biggest thing over here that I see happening with a lot of expats when they walk in when they get off that plane and they sometimes I get them as soon as they come off the plane, is I've had a bunch of people get off the plane here, and as soon as they get off, they start seeing the poverty in the streets, and we're driving home with them or whatever, and they start saying, "Man, where are you taking me? You know, like, this looks pretty rough here. You know, like." And you know, you have to drive through all that because you're going for an hour and a half, or hour and 15 minutes south of Manila. So you drive through all that, you know, and they see all that. And then we take them to a hotel. And hotels here, obviously, they're a lot different than back in the States. And one of the hotels we have here is Brownwood. It's actually a decent hotel with decent rooms, decent pool. It doesn't have a lot of services there, I'll say. Usually you go down to the front desk, there's nobody there. But it is a nice place for the price that you pay. Usually you need to call them and tell them, hey, I'm going to be there at 8 o'clock, and you need to be there at 8 o'clock because otherwise there's going to be nobody at the desk there. There's never anybody at the desk, but it is a good hotel. For the price that you pay, some of the rooms are as low as like 2,000 pesos for a hotel room, and they're clean. And I've heard people complain about these rooms, and they're actually decent rooms here. I've been to many a hotel around here, okay? I paid good money for good hotels, and I didn't find those any different than this hotel here. You know, and I've stayed in some of the dingiest places in the Philippines when I was here in the 80s. And I was in Iloilo. We stayed at this place called the Pension House back then. And I walked in, it was like living in an abandoned building with a shower and a bed. That's how bad that place was. That place was a dump. And, you know, you see these hotels here today, and they're like 5-star hotels compared to that. You know, and this particular hotel that I'm talking about has a gym, it has a bar, it has a beautiful pool, it has like a little oasis outside your door. The rooms are clean, but yet people still find fault with it a lot of times. And I really can't understand that sometimes, because, you know, there's going to be things that you're going to give up when you leave the US, and get used to it and get over it now, because if you don't, you're going to be living in hell here, because it's going to be hell for you. You know, and you have to transition from that, and you have to get over that stuff and get with it over here. Because the differences are so big between food and restaurants and stuff, that you have to learn to work with it and make it yours. And by that I mean, sometimes I like eating at good restaurants, okay? I'll be honest with you. I don't like eating at Filipino restaurants because a lot of the restaurants I don't find that are up to our cleanliness standards in the States. And when I first got here, I got sick. I got sick a lot. I got food poisoning so bad I had to go to the hospital. So after that, I didn't give up. I didn't say, well, I'm going back home or anything like that. I says, you know what? I'm going to start going to the restaurants that I think are clean restaurants. That's what I did. You need to kind of figure out the two. What you have to compare what you had back home, what you have over here, and find over here what you can live with and make it yours. You really need to do that, or you're going to be a complete and utter failure. And if you come over here, you know, moaning and complaining about everything, you're going to fail, because you get into that negative mindset, and it just drags you down further. You know, stay positive no matter what, and you'll be a survivor over here. You'll make it over here. The guys that are over here usually joke about things and stuff like that, about that stuff, you know, and I'm not perfect on that yet. I'm still working on, you know, everybody has to work on themselves as far as that goes. But you know something, we get past it, we move past it, we find our happy medium, both in our homes over here. Here's another thing. A lot of people that come from the States, when they see the homes over here, they look at the homes and they say, well, you know what, I'm not too happy with that, I don't like that. I don't know if I can put up with living in a cement home. there are no wooden homes over here for real. You know, for the most part, there aren't. You can get bamboo homes. They don't last very long. After about a year, they start turning black. My cabanas, they turn black after about a year, and I can varnish them all I want, but they're going to turn black. They get dark. It's just part of life over here. You know, a cement home over here, you paint the walls every couple of years or whatever, and you keep it up nice, and you put AC in there. They're just as good as back home. And you can rent these homes here from, you know, a 1-bedroom for 60, 80, $100, maybe 140, 160 for one that has nice cabinets and nice painting, and, you know, it has furniture in there or furnished or whatever. You know, you get what you pay for over here. And it still, even that, to some people, might not be good enough. It might not be what you're looking for. You know, and that's the difference between here and there. There's substantial differences that we have to accustom ourselves to over here that a lot of people can't live with. If you don't get past that and leave that home, that oh, I'm not, you know, I'm going to live with things the way I want them to be. You can still have that here, but you have to realize that you're going to have to live with some stuff you might not like. Now, most of the homes over here don't have hot water, so you're going to have to put hot water in. A lot of them don't have flush toilets. You got to put a flush toilet in. Some do, some don't. A lot of places, when you go to move into them, it could be in a gated community, a nice gated community, and you think you're going to move into a beautiful home. I can guarantee you, when you first look at that place, it's going to look like junk. In most cases, you're going to have to paint it, you're going to have to fix things in there, and you're going to have to make it yours. It's part of living in the Philippines. It's part of the reason why I tell people, when you move here, you need to have a good startup amount. Some people get lucky and they move into a brand new apartment. And we've had many expats here in the beginning here move into brand new places. And we're very happy and very lucky and very blessed to have that, so that they could start off with a fresh place. Because, you know, we knew that those guys were going to move in there. So we told the landlords, hey, put in a flush toilet. Hey, do this here. This is what we want. And the guys went in there, they put in their hot water heater, shower, and, you know, for the shower, and they put up cabinets and stuff like that to make it theirs. They put up shelves, they brought in their nice furniture, and they made it theirs. They put up the big screen TV, they brought in the Wi-Fi, they you know, they had everything put in there to make the place look really nice. And once you get a place over here, that's what's going to give you your comfort over here. A lot of guys talk about traveling around and figuring out, and that's okay, but I wouldn't waste months trying to find your key spot in the Philippines. Because you know what, if you can find a decent place around here, a decent home in a decent area, and the quicker you settle down and you get your place, you're going to start feeling your comfort zone here in the Philippines. You can always travel to those other places, always. You can, especially if you're living near Manila, you can always hop on a plane and go domestically anywhere in the country pretty easy. Or you can hop on a bus here in town here, and you could hop a couple buses and travel all the way up to Subic or up north or whatever if you want to take a bus trip. I don't particularly like bus trips that much here in the Philippines. Buses are not the most fun way to go around here. I would say flying makes it a lot easier, but you get to see a little bit of the country too. You know, and you can also go on shuttles. There's all kinds of ways to travel here, but you have to grow accustomed. A lot of the guys here, they complain about the jeepneys and the tricycles. You can get around that. You can rent cars. You're going to pay, though, and that's why I say the $2,000 to $3,000, you know, sweet spot budget is the key place to be, because of the fact that kind of helps give you the money to do the things that you want to do. A lot of guys say, well, I can live on $700, I can live on $800, I can live on $1,200. Yeah, you can, but you're going to live like a homeless person over here. And I keep saying that, and a lot of people don't get it, and they come over here with $1,200 or whatever. And some of them are saying, oh, I don't like traveling on a jeepney, or I don't like doing this here, I don't want to do this. And once I hear people complaining like that, it's like, okay, you come over here, you're on $1,200, and you want to be living like a king, because you've been listening to some of the other vloggers out there, but you're finding out that money is not enough money for you to make it over here the way you want. That's why I tell people $2,000 to $3,000. You have to live on the way you want to live. You know what I mean? You have to have that kind of money aside for you over here. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. You can make it living cheap over here if that's your style. If that's your style. If you like living cheap and you like And that's a challenge to some people over here, and that's great. I think that, you know, if you want to live that way, I love to see people over here succeed on lower budgets. I think it's great, and they like living like that. They're like, man, I'm okay with living like this. I have a garden, I do this or I do that. That's great. But I also see people coming over here on big budgets, and I see them living their dreams out, and living in, you know, they have nice vehicles and nice cars. They're going golfing. They got their friends. They got their big house. They got their AC, and it's great to see those people living out their retirement dreams like that, because that's what they want. Each person is an individual over here. I get that, but make sure when you come here that you're going to be able to survive on the budget that you have and survive on the way you want. I got some flies flying around here. He's bugging the heck out of me. I don't know where he came from. But anyway, I want to talk about that because it's so key and important over here. And I've been seeing a lot of expats coming in here. And I just talked with one of the expats today about, you know, what's going to make him comfortable. And we had a really good talk. And the other part about that is the transition here. If one thing is going to help you with your transition, it's going to be to have a girlfriend, or at least a girlfriend, just a friend, or have a buddy or a Filipino guy that you're friends with or whatever, helping you get around, helping you succeed, helping you, you know, even if you have to give this person a few bucks or whatever to help you or whatever. But there's a lot of people that'll help you for free too. They, you know, and just help them out, give them something, a gift or something like that, you know, or take them out to dinner, you know, when you go out or whatever. Say, hey, listen, if you show me around today, I'll take you out to a restaurant to eat, wherever it may be, whether it be KFC or whatever, or I'll buy you a bucket of chicken at the end of the day and you can take it home to your family or whatever. People love that here, you know, and it goes, that kind of friendliness goes a long way, and you'll make a lifelong friend too. You know, that will help you succeed and be better here. But if you're picky here, or germ phobic or something like that, you got to get past some of that. And for me, I get sick easy because my immune system is not the best. You know, I get sick very easy. I have, you know, skin problems and a few other things, and occasionally it catches up with me because of my immune system. I get sick. I get colds. I used to get colds more. I have allergies, but you don't hear me moaning and complaining about that. You know what I'm saying? I work with it. I learn how to try to fix those issues here, or I try to make them better over here. I mean, my environment in my house, I fixed it and made it mine. Okay. And by making it mine, it brings a comfort level here that I can't explain to anybody, you know, because it gives me my peace of mind, and it gives me my family's in there with me. We're happy. We like the place. It's cool in there. It works out. Anyway, guys, I just want to talk about that today. I thought it might help you guys. God bless, guys. Take care.